Hey folks, welcome to a Warhammer 40k Darktide beta, closed beta ramble, I guess you'd say. This is from the most recent version that was available on Steam for the weekend going from the 14th to 16th of October. And it was a bit of a mixed bag from what I could tell from people on the discussion boards. Overall, as a quick overview of it, it ran relatively well. Though I did read that some people were having issues with things like disconnects or the game having an unstable frame rate, that kind of thing. But outside of that, for me personally, any issues that I suffered were mainly related to the occasional case where you would lose connection to the server and end up being booted back to the main menu, which, yeah, was a bit of a pain. And I think that spoke more to the fact that there were so many people trying to access the Fat Shark sort of login servers at the time. It was putting too much undue stress. But outside of that, I didn't really have any crashes that would send me back to desktop or any like horrendously bad bugs for the closed beta, which is pretty good. The gameplay overall, right out of the bat, was really, really good. The one thing is that although it's made by the same people who made Vermintide and Vermintide 2, you can tell the DNA of those two games are in there, but they've just they've built on it and made it a lot better. Since it's 40k and it's a sci-fi universe instead, you've got this really, really punchy set of weapons to use. And this one I'm playing the Guardsman Veteran class, who start out with a las rifle, but as you rank up, more weapons become available in like the armory that you can spend some of your resources on that you get post-mission. And I did have a go later on of a Lawbringer shotgun, which just felt absolutely amazing to use. And don't get me wrong though, the las rifles in this, they sound nasty. Like, they sound really, really powerful, which might be contradictory to some of the stuff I've read in the sort of wider 40k sort of universe of las rifles being a bit pathetic. That's why you need lots of guardsmen firing them all at the same time to really make a dent in their enemies. But I don't know, in this game, I think they went with the really, really good route of like making these things feel nasty. Like, when they hit, man, they sound great. And this goes for every weapon I've seen so far. Stubbers and different revolver weapons, the sort of starting Ripper cannon for the Ogren. They're all really good, and it's satisfying to take down enemies one after the other with these weapons. So that was cool. I really think they've gone in the right direction with regards to the weapons themselves. Graphically, it looks really nice, and this is running on medium texture settings, and I believe it's effects and stuff like that. Basically, for me, and I will at the moment put it down to it just being the fact that this version of it was not the release variant of the game, that I will put the performance issues I was having largely down to it being an earlier build of the game. But even on medium, this looks really nice, and I did switch between high and back and forth to see if there was any real differences, and couldn't really tell anything in particular. I also had this set to performance for DLSS, which really, really helped. It kept a smooth frame rate, especially when things get hairy, quite busy, which I think, if I remember correctly, this is one of the bits where it does get quite busy in this section, where you get basically the equivalent of a horde. Again, if you play like Vermintide, there's a pox dog, that works like a hunter. If you played Left 4 Dead, it's a creature that it'll pin you to the ground, and I think you can get a little pack of them sometimes, which could be really deadly. But as you can see, like, there's a shitload of stuff happening on screen. There's a lot of enemies, and it just ran really well on medium settings. But that doesn't mean that the game shouldn't be running better on high settings, especially with the setup I've got and the system requirements that they currently have. It should have been running on higher settings without much issue, but I was having sort of ups and downs there with the frame rate compared. Once I set it to medium, ran really, really well. It looks great. And speaking of looking great, the environments in the levels just look so good. They have there's the sense of scale to them, but at the same time there's also the claustrophobic nature of the hive city itself, feeling like the tight corridors and these sort of oppressive spaces are really well realized. It feels like it's in the 40k universe. It doesn't feel like it's in a generic sci-fi kind of setting or like a sci-fi horror setting. It really does feel like you're running around inside all these places that have been mentioned. And I'm not the biggest Warhammer 40k sort of background lore kind of person, but holy shit, this looks the business. And from the few different levels that I played, it was good. Like, their art direction's on point. And again, that speaks to the characters. There are 4 classes you can play. There's the one I'm playing here, which is basically the veteran guardsman, who, you know, he's been there, he's seen it, and he's got a bit of experience under his belt. He basically gets like a special ability that allows him to just rapidly fire his rifle with higher accuracy. So it also highlights unique enemies like trappers and grenadiers and stuff like that. There's a few different types of special enemies you can encounter, which you've seen a couple of, like the pox dog. You saw the guy who like ran up and exploded earlier. You've got a few different types like that. You've got the trapper who fires like a net launcher at you. These kind of enemies, which can obviously hamper your team's performance, especially when things get hairy. So he can highlight them. Then you've got the Zealot, which I'm not 100% sure what the Zealot does differently. I'm assuming they have some kind of buff. I didn't play a Zealot. The obvious third class is the Psyker, who you've seen a few of their abilities with, like their heads are popping and stuff, and they get like a weird blue haze around them. The Psyker is a class that is very good at targeting those unique enemy types and very quickly putting them down. But there's also the perils of the warp type thing with them, where if you use it too much, you can end up causing yourself damage, or I believe there's a possibility of maybe summoning some kind of creature. I'm not 100% sure that. I've not seen that happen, but there is a meter that builds up the more you use your Psyker abilities, like the riskier it gets. And then you've got the Ogren, which is literally just like the team tank, who he has like a kind of American football type charge where he just puts his hand out in front of him and just runs through a crowd, and you can just knock him over en masse, which is really useful when you've got a horde type enemies. Well, that was a mutie, that big thing. So, I mean, even hive mutants, it's a nice touch. So as you're creeping around the levels, you're always seeing me pick up a few things. Obviously, there's ammo packs and stuff, and ammo really does need to be sort of passed out between the team. You have to make sure you're communicating about who's got the least ammo, who needs it the most, kind of thing. You can't just grab ammo and it's there for everybody. You can pick up packs. This includes medical ones that you place on the ground. The medical one will do like an AoE healing, whereas the ammo one, people have to physically go up and press the E button, and they grab like I think it's like half their ammo maximum there to restock. You'll also find that it's like I pick up these little sort of canisters, and that's plasteel, which seems to be a resource that I didn't use it in the store, so I'm assuming there's some kind of crafting element later on to be able to make possibly cosmetics or maybe other weapons or modifications of weapons. Not 100% sure there, but there's a few. I think the one's like Diamante or something like, I can't Diamonite or some other material. There'll be people who are big fans of 40k who are screaming, "That's not what it is," and I do apologise for that. I'm learning. I'm trying to learn more about 40k as I go along over the last year or so. So yeah, each of those classes obviously have their own unique kind of playstyles. They do seem to also have some different weapon options available to them. Like the stubber type weapons seem to go to the Psyker and the Zealot, whereas the las weaponry seems to go to the veteran guardsman, and obviously the Ogre just gets like the big ripper cannons and stuff. But I assume there are other weapons available, things like probably grenade launchers and stuff later on down the line. They are saying there's over 70 plus weapons in the game at launch, and they have been talking about once every yearly quarter having some kind of major update to the title, whether that be new weapons and cosmetics, possibly new character classes to play, though they haven't gone in depth about any of that. I mean, hell, the game's not even out until, unless they delay it again to the end of November, which some people have been calling for the game to get another delay so they can do more work on it. I can understand some of those concerns from people, and ultimately it is going to be down to the developers and what they decide based on these closed tests. I would say that the game definitely needs some server-side work, for sure. That's a definite issue that the game struggles with. If they can get their server stuff sorted, it would be a big step up. But as far as the actual core gameplay mechanics, really, really enjoyable. There is something, I do love the horde shooter. I mean, alright, yeah, there's bugs like that where enemies will just kind of phase through objects. It's kind of funny. It's not the worst, you know? But there's something about the horde shooter, like the game that Left 4 Dead kind of popularized. It fits this universe. Alright, it's a little bit unbelievable that a bunch of misfit convicts, because that's what your character's supposed to be, that you've committed some kind of crime, and you do get a character creation system, which was available in the beta, and it was good. You can pick from several background choices, you can pick from several different a few different voice types, like 3 different voice types, and you pick what exactly was your crime that got you sort of sent down, and then that's why some people are running around in these like convict uniforms. We all start in different colored one based on like was it sedition, was it were you a traitor to the faith, were you insubordinate, that kind of thing. So there's just it's fun little stuff like that. And as you rank up, you unlock little cosmetic options, which you could see on the Psycho female. She had like a kind of light body armor piece. And it looks like all the different classes. Oh, Pox dog, yeah. You could see there I was wearing a piece as well, because that was at rank 5. Now I don't know if obviously none of this is set in stone when you get these things. It just seemed to be in the beta. Every 5 levels you got like a new piece of visual gear to show that you played a bit more. And these are some of the other mission. So you get these little sub objectives going on. This one seemed to do with some Nurgle corruption that was affecting machinery. And so this mission, we had to go down to the furnaces to get the furnaces up and running again, so the manufactorum in that sector would start producing the weapons of war once more. But you also had, there's a mutie a bit closer there. You also, we had when you had to get like a coolant system up and running again, so that involves like carrying these coolant rods after you got them all set in this machine to reactivate like a part of a reactor. Another one was stealing munitions from the cultists, and then like stacking that inside a container that a vulture ship would come along and grab and take away. So another one was an assassination mission where there was a particular boss type enemy at the end that you had to fight. So they had a bunch of like different ideas, and I'm assuming there's a few more mission types in there as well, of rating of different difficulties, and obviously the rewards are higher the more difficult you go. Again, really nice, just punchy fun, and I really enjoyed the game overall for what it is. If they do release in November, I'm really looking forward to just getting stuck in, running a whole load more, unlocking more of the gear, seeing what other missions that they've got in the release game. I was quite impressed with it. I did enjoy it. Is there a few standout issues? Of course, definitely are. Hopefully this was an earlier build of the game, and that they're at a better place with it as far as performance issues are concerned, and obviously connection issues. If they can just sort those out, I think the game will be pretty decent at launch. If you really enjoyed games like Left 4 Dead and Back 4 Blood and hell, even Vermintide, this is definitely more of the same. It's really fun. As I said, they nail the aesthetic. They've hit the universe sort of feel head on. It looks like they've put in a lot of effort with the characters. Seems to be a lot of different options going forward for what they could do as well with later updates, possible DLCs. There doesn't seem to be any shortage of levels. I mean, it's set in a hive city, so you've got loads of different ideas for locales. They could bring in other enemy types as well, because of the area of space that they've set it in opens up the possibility of being able to encounter things like green skins, just other like maybe chaos enemy types from one of the other gods. You could have Dark Eldar, all those kind of things turning up, and lots of different playable character class options as well. So yeah, cool stuff overall. Really enjoyed it, but I'll stop rambling now and leave you with the rest of this mission here, which was myself and Frun and Namaan, and we had a random player who was joining. Although actually no, what we'll do. One note. It is definitely a game that would be better with friends over communications, because if it's random people, it definitely hurts the experience. Being able to play the game and not have to put up with people who just run around and grab all the ammo and they don't ask or anything like that really does harm the experience. But with other people, solid game. Anyway, I'll go on with it. Thanks for listening, everybody. Have a good one, and I'll catch you next time. Okay, bye. Yeah, here's the Medicaid that needs to power up. Oh, heal up Namaan.
I have a big footstep.
Yeah. Actually, it could be the machines.
Traverse assembly conveyor 9112 and seek smelter control.
Fuck. Oh god, there's a whole bunch.
Traxxas 1, suppressing fire! Don't get sloppy. I'm not dragging you back.
Your vigilance is misdirected, colleague.
Bit of plasteel.
Good.
An ammo crate.
Good. I've got a Medicaid kit.
Sweet. Well, I can dump down the ammo kit for the finale bit.
Yeah.
This really is intolerable!
Very naked man.
Headshot? Not bad! Identified!
I've got an ammo crate now.
Cool.
I'm going to put it down though.
Oh yeah, okay.
Hector!
It said it was refilling my ammo, but it really didn't. Oh, never mind, it did. It just gave me 1,000 rounds.
Behind.
Oh yeah. There's a trapper. Whee! Oh god, I got hit by a grenade and trapped at the same time.
Reloading! Cover me!
Ow.
Thinning the hood. Advancing.
I found, yeah, there's a medical crate.
Barrel's gonna blow!
We'll get you back on your feet, veteran.
Stay here, we'll get everyone healed and I'll go back and pick up a crate.
Must be better than this.
I suspect it would not be an enjoyable trip for myself or my siblings.
Just got the
It'd
two
sure
magazines.
be something to see the Golden Throne, wouldn't she?
That was quite a horde, quite a combination of those trappers.
Yeah.
We've got trouble.
What have those heretics done to the Omnissiah's blessed works?
Found blaster.
Just grab it. I think plasteel goes
Yep.
across everybody.
good on ammo, so someone else wants to grab
Yeah,
that.
900.
Get down there. There'll be another way out.
Medicaid station, this is the finale area.
Medicaid, at last.
Get rid of corruption. Ah, only grenades in the box, okay.
Sad to see it all so dark, don't you think?
Okay, right side first.
We want to drive out the demonic matter from this.
That's just a weird angle.
Perfect.
That's one.
Alright, okay.
Bolting thing.
Metaphysical contagion in retreat. Continue. Do hurry, Varlet.
Far side.
Destroy the
Copy.
demonic matter.
Fuck.
You down?
Grenadiers up. No, no, there's a grenadier above.
Some bother!
It's getting thicker. Spelter must be warming up. Engaging critical target. It's down and out. Reloading. Follow me.
One infestation site remains. Purge it.
Purge the Xenos.
Urge the heretic.
Eliminating primary target.
Smelter functions restored. Apply restart.
God's hound. Ah!
Working on it.
Yep, thank you.
It's down.
Pox flamer.
He's down. The second one.
Oh, good god, two of them. Alright, hit the button.
Bring that help in the center.
Copy, seen.
Entering final iterative phase.
Ammo box down.
Oh, thank you.
Hi.
Sighting it. Last T220 engaged.
Molar down.
Grenade.
Okay, loading.
Eliminate
Getting the man up, yeah?
Yeah, I'm up.
Right. Oh, I got cut off by a horde of them. Who's left if we're supposed to clear the area?
Oh no, they're still coming there.
Acceptable performance. A temporary victory, but permanent.
Now we can go.
Moving back.
No need for fancy shots!
Right, cover, fall back.
Need to go!
Move.
Good, move.
Yeah, waiting for our...
Head hunting!
He's past you.
In.
Press the button.
Here we go.
Nice.
I got a shovel as a reward.
I got a pissed.
I got a Katachan Mark 1 Devil Claw sword.
Okay, that's cool. A sapper's shovel. A sapper's shovel. Yay.
I mean, I don't know if the Mark 1 sword is better than the... Oh, no, it didn't. It didn't give me that. It gave me a standard issue Munitorum Sapper Shovel.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.